Hello friends, how are you? Bonjour les amis, comment ça va? In today's video, I'm going to compare British and Canadian PhD program and I will identify 6 key differences between the two programs, although both programs are well respected in the world and they are very well recognized, but there are some inherent differences between the two programs. So I had an experience of studying both in the UK and also in Canada. So I thought, why not share my experience and just identify those differences that I found in between the two programs. First key point is about the reputation or the ranking of the universities. British universities are more well known in the world because Britain has a history. The universities like Cambridge and Oxford University or Imperial College of London, they are among the top 10 universities in the world. Whereas Canadian universities like University of Toronto or University of British Columbia, their ranking is around top 25 to 30 in the world. Apart from this university ranking, in fact, for the PhD program, it does not matter what is the ranking of the university. What matters is that who is your supervisor, how well known your supervisor is, and what is the quality of research that you have done at your PhD level. Overall, all Canadian universities, all British universities are well recognized, their programs are well established and are well respected in the world. Okay, the second key difference between the British and Canadian universities is the admission process for a PhD student. In Britain, when a student wants to apply for a PhD program, he or she has to send a synopsis of his research. It is a proposal, research proposal, that what he wants to do research, what topic he wants to pick, and then that topic and that research proposal is being circulated among all other professors in the universities. And if a university professor gets interested in that research proposal, he accepts the student as his student and becomes his supervisor. And after that, all other procedure is mainly an administrative procedure. So simple procedure: sending your resume, sending your synopsis to the university and getting some interest from a professor. In contrast to British system of application, Canadian system is a little bit more complicated. Students have to first send a letter of intent to the university along with the transcripts and then GRE score and English language test score. And then a graduate admission committee looks at the letter of intent and all the qualification of the student at a master's level. And after that, they decide if the student can be accepted into a PhD program. So that's how a British and Canadian university admission process works. Okay, the third key difference between the British and the Canadian PhD program is that in Britain, PhD students start doing research right away from the very first day. The student normally has one meeting a week with the supervisor, and the student discusses his research progress with the supervisor, and supervisor provides him guidelines to move forward. In Canada, the students first have to complete a number of courses. They are between 4 to 6 courses, and the passing grade for each course is B minus, which is 70%. And after passing those 4 to 6 courses, the student has to write comprehensive exams. In the USA, it's called prelim exam. In Canada, it's called comprehensive exam. So there are 2 to 4 comprehensive exams the student has to write. And once the student passes those comprehensive exams, then he starts writing his proposal. And then when he writes his proposal, he can share it with the different professors in the university and try to get one professor who can get interested into his proposal. Once he gets that supervisor from the university, that within 6 months he has to prepare a formal proposal and present it in the form of a seminar to PhD committee. and has to be approved. The research project has to be approved by the committee. Once that research project has been approved by the committee, then the student starts formally PhD level research. A fourth difference between Canadian and British university is about the completion time. In Britain, since there is no requirement for coursework or comprehensive exams or qualifying exams, and the supervisor is appointed from the very first day, a student is able to start research right away and saves a lot of time. So the student normally can complete his quality research within 3 to 4 years. In Canada, the situation is different. First 2 to 3 years, a student spends time in completing course requirements and passing the comprehensive exams, and then finding a supervisor, which is a time-consuming process. So first 2 to 3 years are being spent on that process. After that, the student starts writing a thesis, and it takes around 2 years. So overall, generally speaking, in Canada, a student can finish a PhD program from 5 to 6 years. Okay, the fifth difference between the Canadian and British universities is related to the financial aid or financial support for the PhD students. If the students are domestic students, local students, then there's lots of opportunities for every student. However, for international students in UK, the financial support is limited. Their main support for the student is called ORS, Overseas Research Scholarship, which enables an international student to pay domestic fee rather than the international fee, and that is the only financial support available to international students. However, in Canada, there is almost a guaranteed financial support for the international student. Students can get teaching assistantship or research assistantship, or if once they complete their course requirements and pass their comprehensives, they are also allowed to teach to undergraduate university students within the same university, and that's how they can make extra money to support their PhD program. Now, the final difference is for international students. In the UK, international students, if they want to stay in the UK, they can stay as on a work permit, but to get a permanent residence in UK is almost impossible. So even after having a PhD, you cannot get easily your permanent residence status in United Kingdom or in Britain. However, in Canada, it's almost guaranteed that if you have a PhD in one subject, you will either be nominated by the province, and then you apply for an express entry program, and you get easily Canadian permanent residence status. So see you next time.